I'm gonna share with you 5 tips that's gonna help you increase your money. First tip is to focus on your skills to get a job. So here's what happened. When I was a musician, I basically had my school and I was an influencer. So I'm still am an influencer. So I've got around 300,000 followers across all social media, mostly on TikTok. And when I was running my online school, I needed to get more students to make a living of my side hustle, which is it was my main income before. So the first thing I did is I learned how to close online, how to market myself, and the different types of marketing out there that's going to help me promote myself and my school to get more students. So the skills that I focused on was copywriting, ads. I've been doing some referrals, so I did a lot of like training on this, and basically I craft my stuff. And when it comes to closing, I basically trained myself to understand some principle, writing down like all the scripts that I needed to close anyone for my school. And it was really successful. So I didn't get any degrees or like special training. What I did is all the remaining cash that I had was to reinvest everything into like online courses, mentorships. I went also into like different like Reddits, well, subreddits to join, and it was really good. So the point from this is to get some solid skills to aim for a high paying job. So if you like something, you can aim for it, even though you don't have any degrees. Like for example, I just joined a new company that is like related to business and marketing development. And I'm really happy because I don't have any degrees or like particular like diploma or stuff like that or like certificates. It's not impossible to land a really amazing job to increase the income capacity that we can get basically from our skills. The tip number 2 that I want to share is the side hustle. So I would encourage anyone to get a side hustle. To me, it's just so important. When I was living in London, so before I got my online school and all of my students, I was teaching one-on-one at home. Well, I was teaching online before, but I was going from place to place in London and I was teaching one-by-one lessons. And it was amazing because I had the job where I was working in a bakery and then I had my side hustle. And when I was giving lessons, the first few months was obviously like £100 or something, like $100, whatever. So it didn't cover a lot of things. However, it covered my phone carrier. It covered a little bit of food, a little bit of transportation. And I was like, if I can multiplicate the amount of students I have, that would be nice. At least 5 of them, because I was charging 100 a month. So if I had like 500 a month, I could like almost pay the rent of my room, if that makes sense. And I was like, this is so amazing because it's only one lesson a week times 5. So it's 5 hours a week more. So 1 hour every day. I mean, it's really worth it. So that's how I started my side hustle before multiplicates like the other steps and make it more livable. So I started to aim 5 students, then 10, then 15, then 20, then 30, etc. But having a side hustle saved my life at some point because in 2017, what happened was I didn't get many hours at the job I was working for, and I was really happy that even though my $500 like covered a little bit of like the deficit I had on my working hour pay job. And I'm really grateful I did that. And I think having a side hustle now in 2025, even in the future, is so important because we have no idea what's gonna happen in the future. So start a side hustle with something that you like, that's something you're good at, and something that you want to carry on with for almost the rest of your life, unless you've got like a really strategic point that you want to reach or a dream or something. Just start. It's amazing. Tips number 3 that I want to share is to build an audience and a network. I don't like the word or. So build an audience or a network doesn't work like this. Build an audience and a network. An audience is, I'm talking the audience on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, because if you want to apply for some jobs, it's really good to have a nice image on your social media, like the values that you're providing, even though you're doing entertainment stuff, like not crazy things, but you understand me, even if you do like cooking or educational stuff, it's really nice. But aiming for optimizing your social media presence is very important, even if you just post once a week. If you have an optimization page where you explain everything you do, the skills you have, and where you're good at, where you're based, you're getting serious, because people nowadays are just checking social media profiles. They're not well, they're checking website after the social media profile if you're like a person. So I would definitely build an audience from there. So having thousands of followers, it takes a lot of time, but just post every single day. I'm gonna make a video from to grow on social media if you want to. And the next one is having a network. And having a network when you don't have any degrees or certificates or nothing is so important. So important. And that's how I landed my job right now in marketing, because I didn't like apply it on LinkedIn or something. It's just like having a network is so important, like if you know the right people. And I would encourage to like invest a little bit of going out, obviously with the right people, which are entrepreneurs or like CEOs or stuff like that, just to become friends with, because you can learn a lot of valuable lesson that they've been through. You can get a lot about yourself and how you can like challenge yourself to become this kind of person, because it's really nice to, you know, be surrounded by this type of profiles. And third, you never know where the opportunity is coming from. And that's actually the reason why I landed this job, is because one of my friend that I met through another friend introduced me. So from there, we're like, oh, you're doing marketing. Me too. So that's amazing. And like two months, well, a month and a half ago, he called me like, I've got this project for you and I would love you to come. And I literally signed like a full-time job, which is amazing. Even though I still have my marketing agency on the side, it still feels amazing to have like an amazing network. Number 4 is to reduce your expenses as minimum as you can. So I'm not saying like you have to be cheap, but just buy the fundamentals that you need, like phone bill, electricity, water, rent. If you can minimize the cost and optimize the investing, that would be a nice flip to go for a long term. If you have like, I don't know, a lot of people saying like 50, 20, 30, that's great. But if you can do like the 50% of investing, the 30 for what you want and the 10 for what you need, is actually much a better deal. Well, 20 for you want, it's actually a better deal, because what you want if you want to increase your money is to reduce your expenses. Like if you have a spare room in your apartment, just rent it out, live with some flight mates. Obviously, if you're young, that's much easier. That's when you're approaching 30 years old, because you don't want to live with flatmates anymore, which makes sense. But it's always helpful for the rent and for your stress level of money to reduce, because you can optimize your side hustle revenue and start investing into different stuff. For the food, just meal prep. You've got like some amazing YouTube tutorial that I found like a few weeks ago or something, because I wanted to batch cooking again, and maybe having like some hacks or some tips. And that's the only reason I'm spending my time on YouTube now, is just like looking for some stuff that I'm looking for. Instead of choosing Google, I'm choosing YouTube. And yeah, I think it would make sense. And if you're using like transportation, I would recommend to use like an electric scooter if you're not too far, and use the train, because to me cars is so expensive. Like my membership for like unlimited train is like 80, almost $100, but it's like unlimited, and I can work in the transportation. So if you're in the US, it's better with the car, obviously. But if you're in Europe, I would recommend like buses or train, because you've got like some amazing, like it's really nice. Like even if you have an hour to go to your work, just fine. You can work on your side hustle on the train, like on the way in and on the way out. So it's 2 hours saved. And I think it's amazing. So keep your expenses really low and just only take what you need. You don't need the next like PS5 Pro or something. Come on, you don't need that. And on the 5th one is to take some time to rest. Rest is really important, and we can go into like social media, like scrolling and everything. But one thing I would train myself to, and I'm still doing it every single day. At least I'm trying, is to like, if I feel like I'm tired, I'm just gonna go to bed at like, even if it's 9:30 or something. If I feel my body is like, okay, you need to go to bed, just go to bed. Don't scroll on social media. You don't have to, because when I'm done, I'm done. And like taking some active rest as well means a lot. For example, like going for different walks, or enjoying a movie or reading or something, just to disconnect a little bit. If you're doing like long hours, I think is really important, because a lot of people are like, oh, you need to grind every single day for 12 or 14 hours. Yes, you can, but if you don't wanna, you don't have to. It's your life. You do whatever you like. It's just taking some times off is really important to me, even during the weekend, even though I have time. But my priorities is like finding a balance that suits me in terms of like professional and personal. And even though I love what I do, I also love, for example, playing PS5, but I don't need to buy the new one, if you remember the previous tip. So yeah, take some rest and you're gonna be fine. And that's all the tips that I have for you today.